All right, guys, I got a question recently from somebody suffering with Candida overgrowth, and they weren't getting results despite listening to the popular advice about how to deal with it, which most of the popular advice is let's vilify sugars, carbs, dairy, and everything we need to eat clean, but cut out sugars, cut out carbs. Now, why is that? Because, of course, Candida feeds on sugars. It needs sugars for growth. So let's cut that out. But let's take a step back, okay? Because this is faulty thinking. I'm going to explain why. Why are these people, and this person that came to me, why is this failing for them? Because we have this erroneous idea that if Candida needs sugar to grow, let's just cut out sugar. But that's not the problem. If you cut out sugar, sugar is needed for many other functions in your body, and one of the most important ones is thyroid hormone conversion and thyroid function. So if you cut that out, you're going to see a direct decrease over time in your thyroid function. Now, I'll explain a little bit more on this below, but as your thyroid function gets worse, Candida is only going to thrive more and more. Okay, so let's talk about what's going on there. Now, all infectious organisms, whether it's bacteria, virus, fungi, they require iron to survive and to grow. Now, let me be very clear. We don't want to look at iron like some of these popular publications look at sugar as the enemy. Iron's not the enemy. Too much iron can be the enemy, just like too little. We need an ideal amount of iron. However, in today's environment with fortified foods, we can end up getting too much. Now, why do we end up getting too much? What you can basically bring this back to is stress, okay? Pretty much everybody I've encountered with Candida issues is living in a constantly high stress environment. Now, that could be their diet is stressful. We'll talk a little bit about that. Maybe it's lifestyle, lack of sleep, relationships, a combination of all the above. Whatever it is, they're in a high stress environment. Now, here's what happens when you're chronically stressed. Now, having short-term periods of stress is normal. Our body can handle that. But when we're chronically stressed, we're going to see a couple of things happen. Number one, you're going to see your copper metabolism is going to be affected. And copper and iron have this relationship where as copper metabolism is affected, the ability to take that excess iron in your body and recycle it goes down. So we get this buildup of iron, particularly in our guts, and that becomes a perfect environment for Candida to grow because we're not recycling the iron due to our high stress, and then we're going to see Candida thrive, okay? If this stress continues, another downside is your cortisol levels begin to go up and up. Cortisol is a stress hormone. As that stress hormone goes up, we've known this for a long time, as cortisol goes up, thyroid function goes down, okay? In addition to your thyroid function going down, your liver also begins to decrease its ability to detoxify estrogen. Again, doesn't make estrogen bad, but we need to have a balance. We don't want too much, we don't want too little. But all this started with stress. So now we're not able to detoxify estrogen as much. When we have more estrogen in the system that we're not detoxifying, thyroid function can go down. So that's what I said earlier, that everybody I've encountered with Candida, it's stress-based. Now, whatever your particular stressor is, different story. It's different for everybody. So a lot of people go, well, what should I do if I can't? If cutting out all this stuff isn't working, you need to cut out the stress, okay? I'll talk more about that in future videos, how to do that, particularly from a dietary perspective. We all have stress in our lives, but we don't want to add it by going on these extreme diets. So I hope that was helpful. Let me know in the comments any other topics that you want me to cover. Let me know if this makes sense. Let me know if you have Candida. I would venture to guess that this probably, rings true, kind of hits home with you, because a lot of this stuff doesn't work because you're not addressing the stress. You address the stress, you can help the Candida issue. So see you in the next one, guys.